welcome to Game News for July 20th, 2013. We're your hosts on this bogus journey through video gamedom. This is Mike.
Hello.
This is Grover.
Dude!
And I am Chris. And the biggest news this week was three of the biggest head developers over at Maxis, including that interestingly named Ocean Quigley himself, have left the studio and started up a new studio called Jellygrade. Ocean spoke that he wanted a small independent studio desiring to get away from EA and its problems, and will probably continue to make simulation titles. He also went on to say in an interview with Polygon, quote, "I was dismayed at the blundered launch of something that I poured so much love and attention into, which made the leaving easier, but it probably still would have happened anyway. Honestly, I think I would have left regardless of whether EA's launch of SimCity was smooth or rough. It is basically my third SimCity." So not knocking EA, they do what they do, but it was time for me and the other developers, Andrew Wilmot and Dan Moskowitz, to go off and try some new stuff. Now you can
Wow, that sucks. It sucks, the fact that they just lost three really good developers.
But maybe some new talent will take up the slack, and now we'll have two
Maybe
studios
EA
doing
will turn to the
this.
ground?
There's that too.
Such is the circle of life.
Microsoft sounded off on last week's reveal of their association with the NSA and access to the information systems on things like Outlook, SkyDrive, and Skype. What they could say for now is the government does not have access to the encryption keys or any known ability to crack the encryption the various systems use. Also, it takes court orders or subpoenas before account information is released. And speaking of all that mumbo-jumbo, there's also Microsoft now has access to the internet address domains xbox1.com and xbox1.net. It's not known if the former owner, the resident of London, received any compensation.
The battle has been going on for years between Viacom and the once owners of Harmonix. You may remember Viacom is accused of withholding money from them. Part of Viacom's purchase deal was to continue to pay the old owners earnouts, and it did just that until 2008 when the Guitar Hero series started to slide. Probably because they were Guitar slide. Harmonix cried foul, and in 2011 an arbitrator agreed, but Viacom took it to court. After almost an entire year of battles, though, the court sided with Harmonix to the tune of $299 million.
Ouch.
Whoa.
You know, if anybody can afford it, it'd be Viacom, though.
Yeah.
Neopets.
Meanwhile, the Sony camp was pretty quiet this week, except for the launch of an auction to sell off props, weapons, and costumes used in the expensive PS4 Greatness Awaits trailer from E3. The auction, called the Bid for Greatness, will showcase a new item for 24 hours every day until July 30th. What's more, users will be bidding using their gold trophies they've gained by playing games. Of course, the trophies won't actually disappear, so feel free to bid, provided you're enough of a PS3 gamer to have enough trophies to actually battle the other bidders. And I gotta say, that is a really awesome and clever giveaway, and to be honest, some of those costumes are not cheap. This is Hollywood-grade stuff here, folks.
That's a really good idea. I think like Steam and other, providers could honestly do that with your achievements, make it so you could buy stuff.
I kind of thought Microsoft would do that one of these days. It's like some sort of promotional thing, but I don't know.
Well, originally...
Microsoft free stuff? Ha ha ha!
Well, you can get, like, stuff for your avatars, I know, but really?
Kind of like
originally...
Apple, $100? Ha ha ha! Okay, go on,
You
Mike.
can do this, Mike. Go on. We'll let you know.
When World of Warcraft first started doing achievements, part of the deal that they were going to do was you would be able to buy cosmetic things for your achievement points, but they wanted achievements to be optional, that you didn't have to do things for them, and so they took that out because people were complaining that they felt they had to do them,
for
which
cosmetics.
is silly. Yeah,
If it's a cosmetic thing that they want, that might be different, but
People with OCD.
that's pretty much what it is. Gotta get it all. Gotta get it all.
Dang.
And speaking of everything,
The Ouya was a resounding success on Kickstarter, and as of last month can be found on websites and electronic stores all over. Now they want to ensure great games on the system by pulling $1 million fund that will match Kickstarter projects up to $250,000, providing their game is exclusive to Ouya for the first 6 months. There's some other restrictions too, but this is a great way for a small group to get game funding who otherwise might have fell short of their goal.
and it ensures Ouya some exclusives, being what they are, but still.
Yeah.
And Capcom did an announcement of their own with a brand new next-gen Strider game from Double Helix that will have a lot of Metroidvania elements to it. It's kind of old-school platformy type stuff. Unrelatedly, Capcom's Yoshinori Ono was working on the recently EVO-announced upgrade Ultra Street Fighter 4 that will have 4 characters ported over from Street Fighter Cross Tekken, along with a 5th yet-to-be-revealed character that's never been in a Street Fighter game before. Many fans have been speculating, but myself and a lot of other folks believe it will be Final Fight's Hagar, who found some return to fame in the Marvel vs. Capcom. Ono also was asked if Marvel vs. Capcom 3, speaking of which, would get anything new, and while he denied the chances of new new content, some rebalancings weren't out of the question. A lot of people are happy about that.
So guys, Firefly! Fox Digital announced at the San Diego Comic-Con that an iOS Android version of a Firefly video game will be bringing something of an MMORPG take to the series. Players will be able to become captains and they'll recruit their crews and head out on all sorts of missions.
Firefly isn't dead yet.
Nope.
And Half-Brit Studios, who's created some truly great GBA titles out of licensed franchises, and have gone on to make iOS hits like Fruit Ninja and Jetpack Joyride, have a brand new game in the works called Colossatron Massive World Threat. It's all about an 80s action cartoon-inspired giant snake robot thing. It will be going around the world destroying cities, all giant monster movie style. And I think we're starting to get the beginnings of Robot Mike. Yep, there it is.
Uh-oh.
Better?
There you are. Young Alexander J. Balicki made a name for himself as he applied to Bethesda by creating a mod for Skyrim over the course of a year. Over 2,000 hours creating Falskar, a massive 25-hour campaign in new land, a third of the size of actual Skyrim, with tons of new quests and characters to over 100 people offering the voices and ideas to the monstrosity. But otherwise, all handcrafted by Balicki himself. At this date, Bethesda has yet to accept him into their fold.
Now that's somebody dedicated to their work.
Yeah, but ZeniMax were like, don't hire him, he's too enthusiast.
And speaking of indie developers, after what happened between Fighting Is Magic and Hasbro over the My Little Pony license earlier this year, you'd think it would shy folks away from making a lot of fan games. But that didn't scare away Instaburst in the least, as they contacted Riot Games to make sure they were in the clear about making a fighting game using the League of Legends characters. And they were, provided Instaburst didn't make a buck. If you have any artistic talents or looking for help on the project, so you'll find a link in the description down below. Other than that, the other roundouts are Soul Calibur 2 is getting an HD remix, Capcom vs. SNK 2 is now on PSN, Earthbound will be coming to the Virtual Console this week, Star Ocean gets a brand new game, but it will be yet another one of those online social card games. I guess those are really successful considering how many are getting those. Age of Wonders 3 is getting delayed to late 2014, Ace Combat Infinity is coming to the PS3, and teases for a new Batman vs. Superman, loosely based on the Dark Knight Returns storyline, and it's all being done by Zack Snyder, as well as a Warcraft movie teaser was both at Comic-Con this weekend, while the screenwriting master that was behind the best video game movie of all time, Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li, is going to be adapting the Dead Space series, can't keep a straight face, into a movie franchise with Neil Moritz to co-produce. I guess John Carpenter's hints of interest weren't pursuable.
Oh god.
And all that wonderfulness was the game news for July 20th, 2013. Really? Okay. And we'll catch you next week for more game news.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Dude!
Send in the infantry!
And they were, provided Instaburst didn't make a buck. So if you have any artistic talents...
Holy shit! Ellie, what the fuck? She just jumped on my shoulder and leapt off!
She's learning parkour. He's learning parkour.
Okay, I am sorry. Whoa!
Surprise!
Surprise!
I thought you had a really wild reaction to that news story.
That's what I thought.
Like,
It was just like, I'm sitting here and so like, random cat on your shoulder!
Oh, if only I had the artwork for this, I'd add this into the show.
Oh my god.
Oh well.
I'm slightly distracted by a cat rocketing around in the area.
It doesn't look partly like a Pop-Tart, does it?
Yeah, I could dress it
Rainbows
like a
coming
Pop-Tart.